Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I want to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Boston Celtics in the playoffs. We're doing our preview and predictions. If you just want to hear my thoughts, skip to the end of the video, the last minute or two, and you'll get those predictions. But in the interim, I want to hear your thoughts, expectations, who's going to win and why, how many games. Let me hear those, and let's get right into it with what I think is going to be one of the more exciting and fun series, because you get to see Jayson Tatum and the Boston Celtics come together, while the Philadelphia 76ers, obviously, it's unfortunate with Joel Embiid and what has occurred with him, but that team is so young and youthful, and Tyrese Maxey had played at a MVP level for a majority of the season. So it's just gonna be cool to see maybe like the changing of guard in Philadelphia try to compete against one of the best teams in the league. And I think that'll be fun. But Boston obviously enters this as the favorites. They're going to be a team that people expect to win. They're 56-26, second in the East. They had 8.1 net rating and owned the league's best scoring defense at 107 points allowed per game. Philadelphia finished 45-37, ranked 18th in net rating at a negative 0.2. They gave up 116 points a night. The teams actually split their season series 2-2, but I think everyone would agree that Boston on paper is the better team. And I think the biggest separator is Boston's defense. They've held opponents shooting to 44% and only 107 points per game. They have the fourth best defensive rating, and they grab 46.5 boards a night. They do a good job of protecting the ball and making sure that every possession is valued, as they have the best turnover rate on offense at 11.2%. Even though they play at the slowest pace in the league, they're still ranked second in offensive rating. And that's, I think, a combination of factors that'll matter in the playoffs, because Boston's going to win in the half court, control the tempo, and defend without needing to turn this into a track meet. I think Jaylen Brown, who's led this team this season, has been an incredibly efficient scorer, and 29.7 rebounds to go with 5 assists, 36% usage rate, which is absurd to think about they're using him that much. Then Pritchard gave him 17 points a night, 5 assists on good shooting. Derrick White, who's a guy who's gonna be guarding the opposing team's best players, while also being a guy who can play point guard or shooting guard, full, or even sometimes small ball wing. With Payton Pritchard, him and Derrick do a good job of alleviating Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum, who returned from the popped Achilles, appeared in only 16 games, had 22 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. If Boston has Brown, Tatum, White, and Pritchard all available, healthy, playing like how we know they can play, that's just major shot creation and playmaking advantage. And the front court should favor Boston, especially with Boston not needing to face Joel Embiid. And yeah, he might be able to come back, but he's going to miss at least the first 2 games. And that changes the entire series. Neemias Queta, who's been fantastic this year and should be a most improved player of the year candidate, is someone that I think, yeah, he could face the Joel Embiid, but I think the interesting part is, like, that would have been a struggle. And Neemias averaged 10 points, 8.5 rebounds, 1.5 blocks, almost on 65% from the field. And also they brought in at the offseason, or at the deadline, Mr. Nikola Vucevic, who he's been figuring out. He's averaged 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists in 20 minutes a night. But Boston has so many guys who can space the floor who aren't like brand name guys. You got Sam Hauser out there who can come in, Baylor Shireman who can come in. Like, Hugo Gonzalez isn't going to space the floor, but Mr. Jordan Walsh can hit the occasional 3, and that's another defender that they have that Philadelphia is going to have to account for. And are they going to be able to? Now, Philadelphia, I don't think has enough firepower, but they do have a top-end talent to match the top-end talent. I mean, Boston has two, but and theoretically, the Sixers do have two themselves, in Joel Embiid and Tyrese, but Tyrese Maxey is the one who's going to be available. And Tyrese Maxey was an MVP candidate. 28 points, 7 assists, 2 steals across 70 games. He can bend any defense with his speed, tilt the defense, pull up from anywhere. Then rookie VJ Edgecombe gave the Sixers 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.5 steals. And Paul George kind of had a resurgence, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals almost in 37 games. Quinn Grimes chipped in 13.5 points. Kelly Oubre, 14 points, 5 rebounds. And that group gives Philadelphia enough perimeter scoring to make Boston have to think about them at least and take them into consideration, not completely disregard them. But my thoughts when you look at the Sixers, will they be able to contain Boston? Do they have enough? And when we start to look at the personnel, that's where the questions arise. They're also way more inexperienced. So to me, I think the weakness is in the matchup is that their offense is ranked 17th at 115.4, and their defense is also middle of the pack. I've always told you guys that historically the best teams that end up in the conference finals have a top 14 or top 15 offense or defense complemented with a top 10 offense or defense. So if you have a top 15 defense, you should have a top 10 offense, as that's historically what the best teams have. And they've also allowed opponents to shoot 46.7% overall from the field and 55% on twos. And without Embiid, they lose their most dominant and probably biggest swing factor, having that interior score. And I know he's not the defender that he once was, and you're more just looking for offensive output with him. I think he's someone that if they could have him for the entirety of the series, you'd think that they could take more than just one game in. Yes, Andre Drummond's shooting threes, but Embiid's giving you 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And that production with Adam Bona and Andre Drummond, yeah, they can rim run, shot block, give you a little threes, but neither is going to create or replicate the shot gravity, the shooting gravity that Embiid does because of his offense. So I think Boston's path to winning this series is pretty straightforward. Load up multiple defenders, play junk defense on Tyrese Maxey, force the ball out of his hands, trust its team defense to hold up. Derrick White and Brown can both pressure the perimeter. Tatum's size gives Boston another switchable option. And on the other end, the Celtics can attack Philadelphia's weaker team defense with multiple ball handlers, bomb a bunch of threes, space the floor better. It's just a math problem that if you add it up, you know who's going to win. The X factor for the Celtics is Jayson Tatum. VJ Edgecombe is for the Sixers, but I think Boston's going to win this. I'm going to be nice and it'll be a gentleman's sweep in 5, but I could really see it being like one of the guaranteed sweeps of this year. Let me hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys expect and why? And if you guys agree with me that this isn't going to be like close. Like I think the games are going to be fun, and as I said, you're going to see like the next generation of the Sixers, but I don't think it's going to be like, oh, like this was such a close game.